Hey everyone, my name is David Scott and I'm the pastor of Highlands Church in Marietta. I'm thankful to be able to participate in the 404 prayer initiative. The passage I'm looking at is from Acts chapter 12, when Peter was arrested and sentenced to death. So we're told in verse 5 of that chapter that the church was praying earnestly to God for him. Then later in the chapter, after an angel sets Peter free, starting in verse 12, it reads, "He went to the house of Mary, the mother of John, also called Mark, where many people had gathered and were praying. Peter knocked at the outer entrance, and a servant named Rhoda came to answer the door. When she recognized Peter's voice, she was so overjoyed that she ran back without opening it and exclaimed, 'Peter is at the door.' 'You're out of your mind,' they told her. When she kept insisting that it was so, they said it must be his angel. But Peter kept on knocking. When they opened the door and saw him, they were astonished." So this is the early church praying for Peter's deliverance. And the passage says they're praying earnestly, but the passage also says that when Peter's actually delivered, that they don't believe it at first, and then they're astonished when they see that it's true. And I actually picked this passage in regards to prayer because it reminds me of two things that are very personal and important to me about prayer. First, these were the prayers of people who were praying earnestly and then didn't really believe Peter could be at their door. It's easy to think of the early church as heroes because they were in a lot of ways. But they were also people believing in difficult times, and especially in difficult circumstances. I think that the prayers of faithful believers can be earnest and then a little doubtful. We can believe and need help with our unbelief. And it's encouraging to me in a time like now when I want to pray and I feel like I don't know what to pray, when I'm alternately hopeful and frustrated and unsure, that the early church stands with me and that my prayer still counts as a believer. And the second thing that I love about this passage and that it teaches me about prayer is that God answered their prayers and God gave them something bigger than their faith. They got to see more than they were actually hoping for, even if that's what they were asking for. The mustard seed sized faith can move mountains. That grace is such that allows us to reap more than we've sown. And that if we are willing to plant seeds of prayer, no matter how small, we can be a part of amazing miracles. And so I hope that encourages you as you pray during these 40 days. I hope it encourages you to not wait until you have monster-sized or unwavering faith, but to be like the early church and to allow God to do more with your prayers than you could hope for or imagine. So now I'll lead us in a prayer. God, first we want to thank you that you're with us in this time. God, even though sometimes our faith might be doubtful and it might be belief and unbelief, but God, you're here and you hear. God, we thank you that even though we may have been through moments of disappointment, we can still cry out to you for things that we hope for, but we're not sure of. And God, thank you that it doesn't take a lot to change the world. Because of Jesus, because of grace, because of the Holy Spirit, you said that a mustard seed sized faith could move a mountain. And so God, I pray that you would help us plant seeds during this time. God, that we wouldn't worry about how big they are or how interesting our prayers are, even how big our faith is, but that we would be a part of your kingdom coming on earth as it is in heaven. In Jesus' name, amen.